What's up, guys? We are back here with some more Aether Drift Standard. Tarkir Dragonstorm is on the horizon. I want to say we're a couple of weeks out from when the set comes out, and it feels just like yesterday. Aether Drift joined the standard format, and so far, Aether Drift I feel like has been a little less impactful than we would have had hoped for, especially when you're comparing it to stuff like Bloomburrow and Duskmourn. But there is some things that we can still try out. Now, this deck list, when you kind of look at it on paper, it looks really strange, but I'm going to try my best to explain it. So the concept here is normally in standard, right, you only have Llanowar Elves. When you're comparing it to a format like Pioneer, you get to play Llanowar Elves and Elvish Mystic. So you have the ability to have a deck that's just 8 elves and a pile of 3-drops, right? Powerful 3-drops that you can cast on turn 2 and take advantage of that mana acceleration. Can't quite do that normally in standard. But what if I told you there was a way that you could makeshift a second copy of Llanowar Elves? And that's sort of what we're doing here. So the interaction that we're taking advantage of is turn 1 Molt Tender, turn 2 either Conduit Pylons or Hidden Grotto to just immediately surveil the card into the graveyard. That gives you 3 mana on turn 2 because these lands come into play untapped, excuse me. So the idea is that you're playing these lands in a mostly mono green deck. We have a very, very light white splash. We'll get to that in a second. But then you're utilizing that mana to be able to play a bevy of powerful 3-drops. Lumbering Worldwagon, Sentinel of the Nameless City, and Impending Overlord of the Hauntwoods. So that is sort of the backbone of the deck, where it's just 8 elves, bunch of powerful 3s. Past that, you have some other interesting things. So you're utilizing Bristly Bill, which is cool because you have both Worldwagon and Overlord of the Hauntwoods that can create additional land drops to give you more value off of Bristly Bill. You have Bristlebud Farmer, just as a very insane card advantage engine, 5/5 trample, makes some food against aggro, just phenomenal card, and 5 power, meaning that it crews wagon by itself. Obstinate Baloth, good against Pixie, good against red, has 4 power. And then once you get up a little bit higher on the curve, you have 2 Nissa and 1 Season of Gathering. Now, basically, the whole concept is, because you have Wagon and Overlord, you end up having a whole bunch of lands in play. The wagons in this deck get a lot bigger than basically the wagons in every other deck. So the concept is you're utilizing Season, which can put a counter on a creature you control, gains Vigilance and Trample until end of turn, or Nissa Ultimate, because, again, you've hit a bunch of land drops off of Overlord and Wagon to then just kind of one-shot your opponents with that. But it turns out Season of Gathering is actually just kind of broken, where a lot of decks rely on enchantments, specifically Domain, but sometimes Pixie, sometimes there's a couple of other decks that have some key enchantments that you want to blow up. So against Domain, you can choose for 5 pause, you blow up all their enchantments, and then you draw cards equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So you basically 4-for-1 them by blowing up all their enchantments, and then draw 4 cards, which is effectively an 8-for-1 against Domain. The card is ridiculous against Domain. And then there's a couple of Spinner of Souls here. I like this because it makes them kill the Spinner first, and it's a 3-mana, 4-power creature that helps crew wagon. And then past that, you have Dissection Tools, which is really cool because when you get into the later stages of the game, you don't have as much to do with your mana dorks, but Tools is nice because you can use your mana dorks to sacrifice them to move the equipment around. And that really comes up when you have Wagon, where there are some spots where you can play Tools, crew the wagon with the Tools, because the Tools creature is a 4/4 from the bonus on the equipment, and then you can sacrifice an elf to move the Tools to the wagon and get a huge lifelink hit in against red. That definitely matters. The white splash for Sheltered, I'll be honest with you, the red matchup is not the best. So we've decided to just do a very, very light white splash here for 2 Sheltered in the main and 2 more in the sideboard to at least try and shore up the red matchup. You could play a basic Plains to be able to search for off Wagon, but I found it was too awkward when I was trying to double spell early, so I decided to not play the Plains. Note, these can make white mana. They do require an additional mana to use, but they can filter white. that is pretty much it for the main deck. And then the sideboard is sort of an extension of the main deck. We have more Sheltered, more Pawpatches, more Seasons, a couple of Tear Asunders, a second Tools, a couple of Ghost Vacuums, Thruns for the control decks, a Frillback, and hard-hitting Question. Again, just more cheap removal that we can get our hands on for those pesky red mice. Again, this deck list looks wild, and it looks kind of all over the place, and that is initially what I said when this deck was sent to me. Shout out to JPSN54 on Twitch, who sent me this deck list, and made a couple of small changes, and just trust me when I say it's better than it looks. But there's only one way for you to find out how good it truly is, by watching the games. So I will see you back here in just a little bit for round number 1. Because the tap ones just kind of defeat the whole purpose of playing a 3-drop on turn 2, you know? See? Ho, it's almost like he knows. It's almost like he knows. Oh, you know what the really funny thing about this? I've had so many people board in Rest in Peace against me because they see Molt Tender and they just assume that you're doing graveyard stuff. It's awesome. Rest in Peace does nothing against this deck. This is one thing that I've been a thing that I've been running into. I don't know which one of these I'm supposed to play first. I usually lean towards Wagon, but I think it's close between Wagon and Overlord. But I think Wagon is higher upside. That's what I've been doing. Beans. Boop. Yeah, I also did consider playing a basic plane. I had a basic planes in this deck for a couple matches, but it was too bad. There's too many situations where basic plane kind of screws you over. Because like Nissa, and then, you know, you're trying to double spell early on. So the planes was just not good. If I told you that Wagon was the most underappreciated card in Standard, would you believe me? Because it really is. The people don't respect the Wagon. It's so good. Like, I just have lethal next turn, don't I? All right, take 12. You're on 3 mana, huh? Okay. Cast Day of Judgment, die. Cast Overlord of the Mistmoors, die. Literally any card they could have, they're just dead. All right, so these two, this. We have a lot of sideboard for Domain. Out. I think that's what I was doing against Domain. You're having moral panic based on Jose deck winning. It's good, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, oh look, again, I have a Llanowar Elf in my opening hand. It's almost like I built the deck in such a way that would make Molt Tender a better card. I will say, the deck list that Jose sent me only had 7 Surveil lands. I do like adding the 8th one. I think the 8th one is clutch. I think you got to play the full 8. Overlord. Right, yeah, the 8th one is the 23rd land. Jesus Christ. GG. Just farmed. Although, I don't know. We might be in trouble if they have... Zur, I guess, but... We can just season next turn, I guess, even if they have Zur. It's not that bad. Yeah, I think even if they go Zur activate, we probably still win this game. Does the stream keep crashing for anyone else? Looks good on my side. Let me check the inspector real quick. Hold on. No, everything looks fine on my end. Is anybody else having problems? Cool. Yeah, it looks good on my end, so. All right, so we crew with wagon, right? Should we attack first? Because I'm just gonna go pop enchantments, draw cards. Question is, do I want to attack first? It's one more card if I attack first. I'll be going to attack first. I mean, I'm going to have to discard a hand size anyways, but... So here... Enchantment. You ever just draw 7? Sure, I guess I'll play this. You ever just draw 7 cards? Discard 2. 1, 2. Alright, your turn. Oh, you have more enchantments? That's alright, I got plans for that. That was a really bad 7. Was it? I don't think it was that bad. Look, I'm just saying, if you have a domain problem, put Season of Gathering in your deck, and you will no longer have a domain problem. This card is just unbelievably insane against domain. It kind of just single-handedly beats them by itself. It's so ridiculous. All right, surely I can kill them, right? All right, cast. I think Sentinel first. Yeah, Sentinel first. I just assumed it was Nissa. Oh, God. And then you crew. And then 4, 5, 6. So do this again. Are we done? Are we good? I think we're good, right? Reforge, thank you for the 15-month resub. I'm gonna deck myself. Appreciate that, Reforged. Welcome back. How many cards in the library? 28. Now we're good. We can do this all day. Yeah, I still have a season left too. Just try 8. I guess I'll take an elf. I don't know. I have 14 cards in my hand. No big deal. Exclamation point deck, Chris. I have to discard 7 to hand size. Good God. Thank you for the prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, I guess I'll discard 7 to hand size. You got more enchantments? You got some more enchantments over there? Yeah, I mean, you just can't lose to domain with this deck. It's kind of impossible. Like, your whole deck is just Season of Gatherings, Nissas, vehicles that don't die to Wraths. Like, the domain matchup is so free. Yeah, you don't have to drop it Season. There have been some situations where I was like a little scared about getting decked by Jace, but you just, like, if you're in those situations, you can count the cards in your library. Like, you don't have to always drop it Season. You can do some more stuff. I would like to find one of my other Nissas. I think I still have 2 left, right? They're at 12. Yeah, I know Season gives trample. 8, 9, 10. So if I just go Sentinel, they could have a binding though is the issue. Crew with these 2. Okay, well, at least they cast that before the season. Okay, wagon down. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I save the season for next turn. It's worse if they have Zur, though. Let's just do this. I could also just pump, though. Or I could also just draw 5, just to try and find the Nissa for next turn. You know what? Let's just do this. do this, get back the wagon, draw 5. Because I just want to find the Nissa for next turn. I do have Nissas in my deck, right? Oh, shit. Have I milled them all? Wait a minute. What? There's one there. Did I just mill the other Nissas? When did that happen? Okay. Well, I guess I don't have Nissas. I just kind of assumed that I did. Awkward? We actually kind of died at Jace now. Yeah, I may have screwed this up a little bit. Perhaps I may have flown a little too close to the sun. Oh, I exiled it for mana. I see. Yeah, for some reason I thought I had another Nissa. We do die to Jace now, though. Which is not ideal. You know, I feel like if I had realized that I didn't have a Nissa left in my deck, I probably wouldn't have gone as deep as I did. But, I mean, here we are. You know, we'll figure it out. There's a good chance they don't have Jace in their deck against me, though. So it's still probably fine. Okay. That's not super concerning. Because we have the Worldwagon. Okay. So they basically need, what, 2 bindings here? Yeah, they may also not play Jace. Okay, unfortunate. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm just going to cast Elesh Norn this turn. I have 11 mana. So Elesh Norn costs 6. That leaves me with 5. I could Elesh Norn plus Thrun. But I think just Elesh Norn pass is pretty good. Because then I can end of turn. I have Tear Asunder and Pawpatch up. Like wagon. Well, I'm just going to kill their binding. And this line's better if they have Zur. Because if they have Zur, I can just kill both of these. Yeah, this is way better. Tear Asunder this. I don't think I have basics left. Yeah, I don't have basics. He ran out of basics. And I guess I'll use the Tear Asunder. Because then I can save the Pawpatch to 2 mana kill the Zur. So now they need to have what? They need to have... that could do it. Because I don't have a way to give Trample. They have 2 in hand? I think I'm going to play Thrun. Crew the wagon. Attack with just the wagon. Because I don't want them triple blocking the Elesh Norn. They're going to double block the wagon, but that's fine. Splash red for Monstrous Rage. There's plenty of other better ways to give Trample. Like, example, we already have 3 Season and 2 Nissa, both of which give Trample. And I was also considering playing an Artist Talent. Or not Artist Talent, Hunter's Talent. The green talent that gives Trample on the 2nd level. So that one could be a good option as well. Yeah, I thought about Hunter's Talent. I was just trying to figure out what I would cut for Hunter's Talent. Did they cast that for 3 or for 5? I can't tell. 1, 2, 3 mana. Okay, I'm just gonna destroy the Zur. It's hard to tell because it doesn't tell you on the stack, does it? Yeah, it doesn't really tell you on the stack. Sure. Okay, I'm with you. The impending logo is lit up. Maybe I just missed it. Or I wasn't paying attention to it. Okay, I have 9 power in play. 11 cards in deck. Well, I guess we'll map here. Graveyard that. Send both. Probably play Farmer this turn. I have 10 mana. No, we gotta play a wagon because I don't want to get got by a Wrath. Decline, and then I guess I'll just play the Overlord. All right, your turn. God, I definitely went a little too deep this game. This game could have... This is one that could have easily been avoidable if I just, like, realized that I didn't have a Nissa left in my deck. There's a good chance I'm going to lose this game, but... We flew a little too close to the sun. This is like that meme of when keeping it real goes wrong. It's like, how many extra cards can you draw in one game and still lose? I have 12 mana. Well, I will deploy the farmer. Yeah, they'll board and negate if they already didn't bring it in, right? There's a chance they may have already brought it in. Okay. They go to 12. I have 8 mana, so I can play Overlord. Go map onto Thrun. And then hold up food. Because they only have 10. I can go to 13. I really hope they just forgot about the food. I really hope they just didn't... They can't beat the food. Because now they kind of have to sweep, right? And they may not have a sweeper. How many wraths have they gone through? Just one, right? They've gone through, yeah, 1 Day of Judgment. Okay. Probably can't beat that. Yeah. This is definitely a game I could have easily won, but I just, for some reason, I thought I had one more Nissa left over, and I just didn't. All right, we'll go to game 3. Unlosable matchup, by the way. If you couldn't tell, I was kind of sick all weekend, but it was still a good time. I had a blast. Priority is kind of a weird one. There's this thing called AppNap, which stands for active player, non-active player. And what that means is whoever is the active player always has their triggers go on the stack first, which means the non-active players will resolve first. So it's a bit of a weird one, but it doesn't always come up, but there are definitely some situations and, things that make it a little more interesting. Okay, so wagon first. And then I think I want to surveil here. It's not a bad one, but I think I can do better. Actually, no, I want to keep that because I want a 4-power Sentinel for next turn. Because then I can use the Sentinel to crew the wagon and still cast Season on 6 mana. So the keeping it's good. All right, so untap. Play land. Go crew here. Attack, kill their Overlord, draw 6. All right, your turn. Surely we got this one right. See, I found the Nissa this time. What do I even discard? I think Overlord? Yeah. Just discarding an Overlord when I have 6 lands in play. Dun, 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 dun. Is drawing 6 on turn 4 good? It's not just drawing 6. It's draw 6 and kill their Overlord. It's a pretty good turn. What are my thoughts on stock up? Stock up's good. I like it. Nissa's just GG, right? 4, 5, 10, 15 minus 4, that's 11. Math checks out, right? I could even make it more. GG. Yeah, you got to stock it up. Will I continue to primarily stream standard once modern RCQ season starts? Does it depend on the BNR? Definitely depends on the BNR. I had a really good time commentating Pioneer this weekend. I thought it was really fun and enjoyable. Think this hand's okay, but it might be better to go to 5. It's close. I'm gonna keep it. I don't feel great about it, but I'm gonna keep it. Isn't Pioneer right now just standard plus? Kind of. But I mean, you know, people don't really play Unholy Annex in standard. And I think part of the reason why Annex is so good in Pioneer is just Mutavault. Took my Pawpatch. Rude. I don't know what I'm looking for yet. I'm going to save the Surveil land. See, I actually didn't really get the message. People told me that Surveil lands were good. So I was just like, oh, you know, surely this is what they're talking about, right? This is what you mean by Surveil lands being good. Kind of want to just go Overlord into Tools. Because it feels like Tools, it's harder for them to beat Tools. Or it's, you know, I don't know if that's true, but I'm going to do that. Because if I play a Spinner, they're just going to kill it. I heard, I was listening to Spike's rant about Amulet of Vigor today. I thought that was pretty good. The daily Spike Amulet rant. And to be quite honest with you, the things that he's saying are not even untrue. Like a lot of what he's saying does kind of make sense. And it kind of resonates a little bit with me of like how completely broken the deck is. Like it is, the amount of mana that it makes as fast as it makes is just obscene. Yeah, that's basically what it is, J-Dub. Yeah, I saw that, Adam. I saw that. It's so hard to play. I don't know if that's true. I really don't know if that's true. Like, there's got to be some sort of spreadsheet that you can look at. It's like, you know, here's how you combo. If you have X, Y, and Z, this is how you kill your opponent this turn. You know, like it really can't be that hard. Because, to be honest with you, a lot of the time when you're playing with Amulet, like, you don't really care about what your opponent has anyways. You're just kind of playing your own game. Summoner's Pact is a mistake? I mean, come on. If you look at that deck and you say Summoner's Pact is the card that should go, where's the Kappa? Yeah, this is probably the worst matchup, to be fair. And this is one that I've been struggling with a lot. But cheap kill spells, tools I think is good against them. All the expensive stuff is bad. I don't even like Elesh Norn against them. It feels weird to keep in Baloth, but I think it's good. Just because, like, this matchup is just about racing, and Baloth helps you race. But you have to lower your curve as much as possible. Actually, I like Thrun against them, maybe more than Baloth in the play. Try this, maybe. Yeah, I mean, you definitely can board in Sheltered if they're not playing Nowhere to Run. It's not the absolute worst, but... Okay, there's definitely a 3-drop on top, right? Come on, 3-drop. 3-mana card! Not quite. I really don't want to keep that, because I think my Molt Tender is probably dying this turn. Oh, I didn't mean to attack. Shit! This is what happens when I just try and, like, pass. Did not mean to attack there. That was a whoopsie. Note to self, don't spam click this big thing down here. Just click on the blue arrow. Okay, well, never punished. I was right, it was dying. See, all of this would be unavoidable if there was a hotkey that I could just use to F6 on Arena, but that doesn't exist. And don't tell me about the fake F6s, you know? Like, those ones actually don't work. I guess I'm gonna Surveil first. I do want a land. So what if I top a land just to draw it? And let me do second Surveil. Okay, well. Your turn. Something tells me it's not actually Alt F4, and I think you're lying to me. I mean, that doesn't beat Thrun. It's not a bad card. I'll probably keep it. So what is it? Shift plus enter? Left shift plus enter. Yeah, see, that just turns on the blue arrow at the bottom. But the reason that thing doesn't always work is because even when you click the blue arrow at the bottom, if you have something that can respond and your opponent puts a spell or ability on the stack, it will still give you priority. I've tried it before. Okay, well, Kaido must die. So just don't attack with Tender. It's not the same as the arrow. I'll try it, but... Uno, dos... So we go here on this. It gets back the farmer. That's got to be worth keeping, right? Yeah. Okay, shift, enter. And then if they play a spell, I shouldn't get priority to use my Molt Tender. Oh, it did work. Okay, for some reason I didn't know that was the case. Got it, okay. So shift, enter again. because I don't want to use my Molt Tender given that this is on top. For some reason, I thought that... So, how is it different than the blue arrow if it highlights the blue arrow down here? That's so weird. I don't get it. It's very strange. All right, you fight you. And then I think we just go send everything? Well, no, because they have the reef, so we can't send everything. The blue arrow is the same as pressing enter. Well, just regular enter doesn't... Oh, okay, okay. But shift enter is different. I see. Okay. I understand now. I get it. I get it. How do we feel about Bill? How do we feel about William? Did we kill Bill? I think we kill Bill. Okay, song request for Siebes. What do you got for me? Is this a Smash Mouth cover? I hope it is. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Farmer concede. You want to change anything? We could try the Sheltered by Ghost plan on the draw. I think I still like no Sheltered. I kind of want to just try this. Do you think Juzum Jin looks at Farmer and gets jealous? Yes. All the time. How many 4-mana 5/5s with upside do you think they've printed since the printing of Juzum? It's got to be like at least 20, right? It has to be a very high number. Yeah, Erdum Jin too. Mexico. Yeah, well, Pelucranos doesn't really count, does it? Okay, we're getting kitoed, and that shit sucks. Wasn't Iwamori they could like show and tell a creature into play? Was like 4-mana 5/5 trample, and your opponent just got to cast a one-sided show and tell. That card was so bad. In the format that had like Yosei and Kakusho and all that shit. Oh, what a card. What a card. Is legendary only? Yeah, but still, I mean, you know, half of the set was legendary, big legendary creatures, wasn't it? Okay, I really need to draw a Tear Asunder. Come on, tear my ass. Fuck. Okay, counter here. Probably keep that. Now the question is, where do I put the counter? Maybe what I'm supposed to do is put the counter on Sentinel, attack both at Kaido, because if they trade for Bill, they lose the Kaido. And the other option is them chump blocking and Kaido taking 3, which I think is pretty good, right? So counter here, send both. I could have played Spinner first, but I think I actually would rather have them block Bill. You know what I mean? Whereas if I play Spinner first, they're 100% not blocking Bill. But if I attack first, there's a chance they might block Bill, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking there. Yeah, that's bad. Fucking Kaido, man. Take Kaido is such a pain in the ass. Yeah, Plague Sliver. But it made all of your slivers into Jusums. So if you had 4 slivers in play, you would just take 4 in your upkeep. Hell of a card. Yeah. Very good against sliver decks, yes. Okay, they have Restless Reeve. Alright. Send both at Kaido. Okay, that's good for me. Okay, so they have a counterspell. Which means I think I'm going to cast Pawpatch now and then use the map. Because if they have the counterless ship A2, I can just pay now. And then I think I map onto the bill. Graveyard. Okay, we're not doing terrible. I mean, they have a lot of cards in hand, but how has Spinner of Souls been? It's weird. I like the card a lot, but the problem with Spinner of Souls is it doesn't trigger off of itself. So if you have a spinner, they're always just going to kill it first. So it's like, it's more of a card. It's less of a card that's actually getting value and more of a card that just like forces them to kill it first, you know? Electric, thank you for the prime. This is bad. Don't think that's going to cut it. I mean, we just have to send. Shelly is kind of a hard pain in the ass. Yeah, Spinner is good against Day of Judgment. It's probably at its best against blue-white control. They didn't block. Did they just die? 15. They just died, right? Okay, well, +1 for Bill, I guess. I don't know. they could have just blocked, but nope. There we go. All right, back to the turn 1 elf, turn 2 wagon hands. I missed these ones. Is 10/10 for 5 still standard legal? I think it is. The Gigantosaurus. Not that people would want to play that card, but I think it's still legal. No counterspell is big there. And no Ride's End either, because they would have got priority when I tapped the elf. So no counterspell, no Ride's End is good. Oh, okay. Well, it's a good thing I've drawn my 1 copy of Scavenging Ooze. Unfortunately, I still can't crew the homie, right? Oh, no, I can. Right, if I go... Yeah, I can go, I guess, Ooze first. Guess they have some weird counterspell. I know, I did want to cut the Ooze. It's a really good thing I didn't cut the Ooze. They have the shitty bounce spell. And by shitty bounce spell, I mean, you know, shitty for me. It's a good card. All right, your turn. Your turn. Bro, stock it up. Look, I'll be honest, I didn't respect the Ooze. I think this is maybe the first time that Ooze has ever looked good. In my defense. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So just go Wagon, Spinner Pass, Wagon, Spinner, hold up, Pawpatch /Ooze. Ding, ding, ding. Omni may be a reason to main deck Scrap Gorger instead of Molt Tender. Yeah, I mean, the problem with that is it just doesn't really work because your deck is so focused on going 1 into 3. You'd certainly have to like there's probably a build of this deck that is more focused on 4s, and you could play like Tender, Wild Guide, and Scrap Gorger and just go 2 to 4 instead of 1 to 3. But I don't know, the 3s are really powerful. I guess I should go to combat first before playing the Pylons, because it's going to mess with my Surveil. Sure, man. You got it. I mean, they'll eventually find the lockdown, right? Eventually. Okay, block happens. Cast this. And play Surveil. Graveyard that. Your turn. Yeah, I was considering playing a copy of, or a couple copies of Hunter's Talent to be able to kind of achieve the Kessig Wolf Run effect. But you do already have the Nissas and the Season of Gatherings both give trample, so you don't necessarily need that. Ooh, you want to cast Day of Judgment when I have Spinner in play? I'm down. I'll just eat some spells. Jesus. You ever just want to draw 9 cards? Okay, hear me out. Wait, can I kill them? Not quite, right? 9, 12, 13, 14 plus 5 is 19. I think I'm 1 damage short, correct? Oh, but I'm getting I think they're just dead because I get a power off the wagon, right? So I go eat this. Crew. And then this would be 10, 14, 15, 16 plus 5 is 21. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. GG. Hey, what's up, Xander? Yeah, just 6 mana Lava Axe. Okay, so Omniscience. Okay, Omniscience. Vacuum good. Pawpatch, Tear Asunder, Frillback good. I think Sheltered is pretty bad too, because they just don't really play at sorcery speed that much. Baloth is unnecessary. Tools is bad. Elesh is bad. Maybe I'm supposed to keep in Elesh Norn just to turn off Lockdown. Is that crazy? Like, is Elesh Norn better than Season, I guess is the question. Might be. Oh, that's true. It does stop the combo, too. Yeah, then I guess we'll do that then. Yeah, you're right. So they need to at least have an answer for the Elesh Norn before they can combo. I think this looks good. Just lowering the curve, playing all the disenchants, playing the Graveyard Hate. This looks good. We are breaking standard 1 Surveil land at a time. This is a weird-ass hand. Very, very strange hand. I think it's good, but I'm not positive. I'm gonna keep it. What are the gold lands for versus Verges? So the whole point of the deck is... Oh, well, had to use the whole time. The whole point of the deck is there's a lot of powerful 3-drops in Standard, but because you only have Llanowar Elves, you only have, 4 ways to accelerate you into a 3-drop on turn 2. But if you're playing Molt Tender and 8 Surveil lands, you can kind of live the Llanowar Elf experience without having, because you know what I mean? So you just go like, example, turn 1 Molt Tender, turn 2 Surveil, snap Graveyard. That gives you 3 mana on turn 2, is the idea. Because if they have lockdown, then I don't want them locking down the Ooze quite yet. Although I do have the Tear Asunder, so maybe them having... Let's see what's on top. Okay, Graveyard that. Yeah, I guess I just play the Ooze first. Okay, I'll play the Ooze. Also better if they have a counterspell. Yeah, it is also somewhat interesting to just have the lands, like having Surveil lands in your deck means that you brick less often, because you can, like, you just have one extra look at finding a spell. But you can't really go super deep on the second color when you're doing this, because, you do need a lot of green sources. So you can't really afford to play too many cards of the second color, because of these, for all intents and purposes, most of the time are colorless lands. Hey, Discarded Random, thank you for the 3 months. Welcome back. How you doing today? Appreciate the sub. Okay, so William, Forest, counter here. And then I think just pass with 2 mana up. You're seeing counterparts later. I didn't know they were touring. I'll have to check and see if they're coming to Mass. Okay, trigger on the stack, kill it. Which one do you use first? Probably Pawpatch. Because this could theoretically kill, like, a Gearhulk. Well, I guess they both kill Gearhulk, but... Oh, no, this doesn't kill Gearhulk. Yeah, okay. It's better to use this first. Yeah, that's true. You'd also rather exile Omniscience if the Ooze ends up dying. I'll block. I promise you I'll block. Okay, let's go here. Counter here. Graveyard you. I guess just attack for 6. And then I think I'm still just passing. Like, I don't really have a reason to use the Frillback yet, and if they don't do anything, I could just use Bill. Ah? You've triggered my trap card. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know about that one. Not sure about that one. You're at 14. Do I have them dead? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not quite. All right, I'll 7 ya. Your turn. Yeah, have you thought about me just activating my creature? I do have the mana to use it. Okay, they made a 2/2. May I defeat your 2/2? I may defeat your 2/2. Cool. That was supposedly a bad matchup, but I do think it is better, a little bit better post board. For sure. I mean, hey, if they're playing red, this hand's good. I'm keeping it. You just kind of have to assume that, like, half of your opponents on the ladder are playing red. Yes! Let's go. I guess this one's also good against Pixie, to be fair. Young man. I do that all the time, man, leggings. Not all the time, but I do that a good portion of the time. Now, here's the question. Do you make a 3/3 ooze to play around Burst Lightning, or do you play second elf? I think I just make a 3/3 main phase. Because that plays around Burst Lightning. YMCA. Okay. Doesn't play around that, but I'm okay with this. All right, new plan. Absolutely farmed. Will there be a day we get to do doubling season memes? I don't know if I've ever cast doubling season in my life. It's like one of the few cards I've never cast before. Ooh, no attacks, huh? I like that. I like no attacks. They could have bluffed. I wouldn't have blocked. Ooh. Lander tools. Well, the issue with attacking is because the arena priority system. Like, if they attack, I'm just, if they attack and they don't get priority, I'm going to block. 1000% tools. You realize I don't have a 5th Manosaurus. I can't cast it this turn. And if I take the tools, I have to play the elf this turn, which means I can't do anything else with my turn. If anything, it's probably the wagon. God, this is tricky, isn't it? Maybe the play is take tools and just go Baloth pass and then try to find land next turn. Yeah, that's probably the right line. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just take tools and then we go Baloth this turn. Yeah, this makes more sense. I can't play the elf this turn. I can't afford to use 1 mana when I have 4 and 2 4-drops in hand. I thought about taking the lumbering, but I mean the tools just solos them. Like tools will win this matchup by itself. Because then I could just equip Farmer with tools and like how do they win? I think I'm gonna block this turn. Like they could have drawn Rage, but I just don't care that much. Yeah, I'm kind of fine with that too. I think that's a good trade for me. Okay. No. We're at 15. Good God. Mm-mm, 31 life, your turn. Good luck. 31 life, huh? Is that good? Soon to be 35. Yeah, I had one game against Red where I just went turn 2 wagon. I think I went turn 2 wagon, turn 3 tools, used the tools to saddle the wagon, and then sack an elf to equip the wagon, and then I think I gained like 7 life that turn on turn 3. Like, how do they ever win? Yeah, I mean, that's good, but I think it's trample, so it's not even that big of a deal. They can't even kill the farmer if they block. But I probably should play the elf pre-combat, or the Baloth pre-combat, just in case they do decide to block with Nemesis. Oh, it has Death Touch and Trample. I didn't even realize that. I forgot that it had Death Touch and Trample. Sure. That is a tough way to do it, but I respect. You get to deal me 1 damage. I'll take 1. Yeah. And then sack elf equip here. All right, your turn. Dun, 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 dun. We can't gain any more life, to be fair. We are not allowed to gain life for the rest of the game. I think we'll manage. I'm just gonna kill the Nissa too. Yeah, not this turn because we only have 6 mana. But Nissa will win next turn. I'm just sending both. They have no good blocks. $34, by the way. 34 life. All right, GG. Bad matchup, by the way. Allegedly bad matchup. Okay, so those 4 are good. I don't know what else I was doing. I think I was boarding in the Disenchants, but I don't actually think they're that good against mono red. Like Thrun, but yeah, Frillback could be okay just for the life gain. But everything else is kind of whatever. I think maybe if they were Gruul, some number of Disenchants could be good, but against mono red, they don't have talents. And then I think we just cut expensive stuff and spinners. I think that's what I did last time. Well, we can cut the Pawpatch from the main, I guess, and keep in a spinner maybe. The way that you beat Domain with Cage is you kill them before they get set up. And the best way to do that is just mulligan aggressively and have an interrupter for their first sweeper and hope that you get to kill them the next turn. That's your best plan against them. They're on 6. This is my 6. I think I go to 5. Yeah, I think I go to 5. Okay, well, can I have... Oh, come on! Jesus Christ. Okay, here's the plan. This is my 3-card hand. Nice. Okay. Not great. Not gonna lie. But if there's a Sentinel on top, we can still win. This is a pretty good 3-card hand, right? Okay. Well, their 6 is better than my 3. No! Do I have to shelter this turn? Yes, I think. I hate it, but I think I have to. I was thinking about waiting 1 more turn in case I draw a farmer, but is it ever Manifold? Manifold's better if they have Challenger, so maybe it should have been Manifold. I mean, he's still got a chance. If we can draw Dissection Tools, I think we're favored. But it kind of has to be tools at this point. Saw a list on Untap that had Aether Spark, played some matches, didn't play against Domain. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think Aether Spark is a good plan against them. I think you just need to be as fast as possible and just ignore kind of like the more expensive value type threats, because even if you're drawing extra cards off of Aether Spark, you're still not going to be able to keep up with the cards they can draw off of, like, you know. Beanstalk and stuff. So you just can't play that kind of game against them. They're always going to be able to have more cards than you. That was a pretty good Mold to 3, though. I'm not going to lie. Nope. Brother, don't do this to me. Come on. Please. I guess, right? Like, you would have kept the second one? The second one was terrible, wasn't it? Trying to think of best case scenario with the sand. I may just have to run out a Frillback on turn 3. I'm identifying an issue with your deck strategy. I mean, yeah, when you mulligan to 5 and 3 respectively, you will lose the game, but that's true of any deck in Standard. Your Esper Pixie deck is not immune to mulliganing to 5, you know? World's saddest Frillback. Still can't block. Blocking is illegal. It's really unfortunate that they just banned the blocking phase in Standard. Just not allowed. Surely they don't have any spell here, right? They definitely don't have literally any spell. Yeah, have you thought about just not having bad hands? And I ain't blocking, I might as well attack. It's worse if they have a haste creature, I guess. Is that what WotC meant when they said they're discontinuing blocks? Yes, that is exactly what they meant. That means you are no longer allowed to block in Standard. Just completely offline. All right, we have died. Look, I'm just gonna say, I won the game where I kept 7 cards, and I lost the games where I mulliganed to 3 and 5 respectively. You play blue-white Merfolk Monument. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. How competitive do you think the black-white Monument deck is? I like it. I think it's good. I really appreciate the fact that it has it's a consistent reanimator deck that also has a good plan against Graveyard Hape. And there's not a lot of graveyard-based decks that can say that. So I do like that about it. You found a Grixis Monument list? Yeah, I feel like with regards to Monument, people have just tried every single possible combination at this point, and nobody knows which one's the best one. Sandstorm Salvager. This cage could be a problem. This cage could still be a problem. I guess we just deploy the idiots. Kind of wish I had the Nissa back. If only. If only. There's no white Overlord. Nah, Cage. The thing about Cage players is the first Collector's Cage never has the Overlord. It's always the second one. But this one doesn't have the Overlord, but the next one will, I promise. Yeah, this one definitely has the Overlord. Hell yeah. It's almost like that is on my shirt as well. For anything for the 6 months. First cage has a cage under it. I have demonstrated a loop. See, I told you. That's a Gear Hulk. So if that one has a Gear Hulk, what does the first one have? Garbage? 4/4 first strike. You don't say. Can we get a creature in graveyard count? 0, huh? Okay. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, we need to find a Nissa or a Season to be able to kind of break through this board. Okay. That is neither of those. I guess attack. Perhaps I could have sacrificed Elf to equip it. But I'm kind of okay with this trade. And then don't equip now, just pass. But as soon as we find Nissa, the game's over. Season of Gathering, which would be kind of insane here, because Season would kill 3 artifacts and draw me 6 cards. Yeah, the Season would be unbelievable here. Okay, another artifact located. This might be the single best Season match. Like, this might even be a better Season matchup than Domain. Just unbelievable against them. How many things can I eat? Uno. I guess just 2. Not great. Not great. Sack Elf, equip Overlord, attack, make them trade, and then be able to then re-equip to the Sentinel next turn plus use the Ooze. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. So let's just go here, sack this. Oh, plus they can also make the Gear Hulk a 6 power. So I couldn't even do that if I have 2 creatures in the graveyard with the Ooze. Yeah. Same thing with the Sentinel, because the Sentinel only have 6 toughness. So this is kind of the only good attack I have right now. Sure. It's more Ooze fuel. 34, by the way. Such a weird matchup. Yeah, we have 2 Nissas, 1 Season that we can draw towards. As soon as we find any of those, they're probably just dead. But kind of has to be soon. They're maybe getting to the point where they can start attacking. Especially if they find like an Overlord or something off this. Okay. Pixie coming in. The Pixie. So now they have an 8 power Gear Hulk on defense, which means I don't really have any good attacks. So I'm just gonna pass, I guess. I'll eventually find the Nissa, right? Right? Yeah, we're just staring for a little bit. Okay, we're not really staring anymore. That's bad. 3 additional counters. We have a 9/9 Overlord. Okay, well, problem is now we're on a, 2-turn clock, I think? At 13 next turn. Simply draw the season. How about pay off? Not exactly. I don't even think that buys me an extra turn. We might even be in a spot where season doesn't win the game immediately, because they have enough toughness to survive. So it may have to just be exactly Nissa, which we know one is in the bottom, so we really only have one left. Yeah, we could throw the Sentinel in to get an extra look. Maybe that was worth it. Yeah, just for one extra map trigger. That might have been good. Hold. Okay, I am dead, but I just want to see what the next card was. I want to see if attacking last turn mattered. Mostly for my sanity. Okay, well, it wouldn't have mattered. Still would have lost. Okay, what do we want against Cage? Sheltered, good. Kill spells, good. Tear Asunder, Frillback, good. Season, good. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know what's bad against them. Spinner is probably bad. I gotta cut 5. Tools out. Maybe Ooze out. Pawpatch out. Because, like, no matter how many counters we get with Bill, it's going to be really hard to outsize their battlefield because they have leeches and prairies and stuff like that. So I think Bill might be my weakest card. Yeah, I could buy that. All right, this one works. This one definitely works. It's got the season, too. This is going to be a fast season. What if we tried playing Worldwagon in the Cage deck? What do you think about that? Is that a good or a bad idea? It can't be that bad, right? Can it play enough basics? The Selesnya version usually plays somewhere between like 6 and 7 basics, and I think 7 is probably the bare minimum for Wagon. So it would be close. Maybe a Salvager. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what you would replace. You probably would have to cut some of the 3s. I mean, I've always felt like the worst 3-drop is Sanguine Evangelist, so that's probably where I would start. Yeah, I think Sanguine, for me at least, is the worst 3. But again, it's still good because it is 2 bodies for Cage. So even if it's the worst, it's like there is still a reason to play it. Pixie, huh? What are we bouncing? Nothing. Okay. Definitely a show of weakness. Trying to think of how this is going to play out. I think I start with map onto Sentinel. See where that takes us. How good is that? I don't think it's very good. Play Farmer. through here. Take 9. 9. And then I guess I think I'm just going to pass. There's kind of no reason to map here because I'm exiling a card in my graveyard, which loses me a mana next turn. So I guess I'll just save the mana for next turn. Okay, well, I guess we're going to game 3. In that case. It just, like, provides you a ton of value, hits like a truck, dodges sweepers, dodges sorcery speed removal, dodges Kaido. Like, it's just such a sick card. All right, this is my 6. What do you put back? I think it's land, right? Yeah, dodges lockdown too. It's gotta be land, I think. All right, I'll put back land, especially on the draw. I'm sorry, did you play a tap land? You sure about that? Put back elf. You mean put back the best card in my deck? No thanks. Nissa. Yeah, myself included, you know, like when you look at it, crew 4 is a lot for a crew cost. Like, I don't disagree with that, but I think I frill back the Baloth speed. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I would like to draw land. I can shelter that, but it is a bit sketchy. Oh. Well, definitely not sheltering the Gear Hulk now, I'll tell you that much. Kind of sucks. Like, I don't really have a good play this turn. I guess we just go Sentinel, map onto Sentinel. Kind of hope to hit a land that I can play Elf. Sheltered Cage, question the Gear Hulk. So if I Sheltered Cage, kill the Hulk, they go Might, Pop, kill Sheltered, get back Cage, but they still have nothing in play. I guess that's not a bad line, because they wouldn't have a creature in play. Yeah, okay. We still have a Frillback in play too. Yeah, that's not that bad. I could play the Elf too. Yeah, this is a good turn. Also, we gain 8. I mean, their play is probably just going to be, what, double Might, kill Sheltered, kill Overlord? Because they kind of have to kill the Overlord this turn. Oh, okay. Or not. Well, now I could just go Nissa, kill the Hulk, which is kind of insane, right? What was under the cage? You don't actually get to see, because Hideaway is face down. So when the cage dies, you don't get to see what card was under it. No, because Haywire Might is only non-creature. So once the Overlord becomes a creature, they can no longer Haywire Might it. This land comes into play tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, remove one of them from the game face down, and put the rest in the bottom. Yeah. I do remember that. There was a point where, like, once you exile the card to Shell Dock, you couldn't look at it. I do remember that. At the end of the game, they show? No, not so in paper, at the end of the game, you still don't have to show. I'm pretty sure. So what's their plan? Kill the shelter? Do I care? Not really. Dun, 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 dun. Hashtag ad coming in. Right. Yeah, face down creatures like morphs and manifests and that kind of stuff, that has to be revealed at the end of the game, but not face down cards that are exiled to like, other types of effects like that. Is there even anything else that exiles face down besides specifically Hideaway? I don't know if there is. I don't think there is. Yeah, I guess Bomet Courier, yeah. Gaunty. Okay, Foretell. How about Foretell? Is that one you have to show? Like, do you have to show your opponent that the card that you foretold actually legally has Foretell? How does that work? Because, like, what if you foretold a Plains or something? Yeah, so you have to show Foretell like Morph, okay. Yeah. But you do have to show manifests. And I never understood why. I'm now realizing it may have been better to not use the Nissa pre-combat. We're probably still okay. They have a 5/5. Are we okay? Maybe we're not okay. It's kind of weird, isn't it? I could Sentinel pre-combat, try and hit a map, hit a spell so I can attack with both of these. But I think I'd rather just double spell. I mean, I don't think we're in danger. Like, we're ahead on the battlefield. Our Nissa's gonna die. Yeah, didn't show your manifest at the end of game 3. How many GRVs do you have? Just no reason. There's no reason that I'm asking. So Nissa dies. I mean, I don't know. Our battlefield is still better. Like, I have to imagine we're still fine. Honestly, that's probably what I would do is call a judge. You're asking if we ever play against each other? Judge! Okay, that's not good. Well, did not think we'd be in this spot. I'm going to be honest with you. Certainly did not think we'd be in this position. I don't really know what happened this game. Wagon's not good. Neither is Hushwood Verge. Go. I think we're losing. Like, very easily. I could have kept the spell there to try and crew the wagon next turn, but I'd rather just try and find a creature that, can also crew the wagon. Oh, but now they can haywire the wagon, right? Steven has joined the party. Yeah, I think we lost. I don't really know. How the hell did I lose this game? What the fuck happened? Wait, are they dead? 3, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, they're dead. Okay. Well, never mind. I didn't lose this game. Oh, man. That's funny. What a back and forth, huh? Can't believe we lost this game. Me neither. I also can't believe we lost this game. It's -1, by the way. I think one of the other Nissas was gone, too.